Good morning, friends. Welcome to my scripture reflection for Tuesday, July the 16th. Hope you're doing well on this Tuesday morning as we enter the middle of the month of July. Time does go by quickly, as we know. However, we have had some extreme weather in this country and certainly in the world as well. And I just always ask you to pray for and look out for those who are most vulnerable in extreme heat or extreme weather of any kind. Just please always, any little action means so much to them. Just getting them into the shade, bringing them a cup of water, whatever the case may be, it really does help. And if we all collectively do things for all creation, what a much more peaceful and compassionate world this will be. And I know you're already doing these things. I just always put it out there as a constant reminder to myself and all of us. As we consistently do things in our life, these are consistent actions that really mean a lot. With that in mind, I will ask you to quiet your minds and hearts as we prepare to hear today's gospel, which is from St. Matthew chapter 11, verses 20 to 24. Jesus began to reproach the towns where most of his mighty deeds had been done, since they had not been repented. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had not been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would long ago have repented in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. And as for you, Capernaum, will you be exalted to heaven? Will you go down to the netherworld? For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Sodom, it would have been remained until this day. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom on the day of judgment than for you. So what appears to be a kind of harsh gospel, which it is, Jesus is saying, hey, if you're not recognizing mighty or beautiful deeds, the result is not good. We know that. We know that, and we should be reminded of it. Certainly, it's certainly something we should keep in our mind. But I think rather, I would like today to focus on what is a mighty deed. Maybe, just maybe, if we recognize what is a mighty deed and we do more of them, maybe they will be recognized that much more, and there'll be less world people in peril because they're not seeing them. I think that might be at least somewhat of a good approach today. So what is a mighty deed? A mighty deed sounds like it's something extraordinary. It sounds like it's something beyond what we can do. It's too mighty. It's too strong. It's too out there. It's too exorbitant. It's not. It's not at all. A mighty deed is one done with all good intention. Simple is best, and with God inspired in our heart and in our mind as we are doing it, and nothing else. Many years ago, probably almost now 20 years ago, a young pit bull had been probably used as a bait dog, survived miraculously, tied to a Shell gas station fence. She was rescued by an animal control officer at the time. Her name is Nancy. Nancy was very instrumental when I had my own dog rescue for the following reason. Nancy is a person who does beautiful deeds. And her beautiful deed that day was to rescue this poor, innocent pit bull baby puppy, probably about a year old. She named her Shelby because she was tied to a Shell gas station fence. She brought her to a shelter where other people, many in that shelter, which I can go on with the names, but it'll take too long, gave amazing care to Shelby, cared for her, cared about her, did so much for her in mighty deeds that were so simple. Shelby then came into my life. I adopted her into our family, trained her to be a therapy dog. But in a moment where I was at one of my worst moments with anxiety and depression so bad, I wasn't sure where I was going anymore. I wasn't sure whether I wanted to keep going. And one day, when I was at my worst, thinking about the worst, Shelby took her paw and put it on top of my hand. She knew. that bad thoughts were going through my mind, and she stopped me. That day will always be a remembrance for me because Shelby went on to not only save me, but she saved so many others as a therapy dog. The spread out and ripple effects from the deeds done by Nancy and those in the shelter where Shelby was really, truly were God inspired. And they rippled out. And I tell them often. I tell those stories often because I feel it's so important to share positive things that we can do for all in need and how simple they are. Mighty deeds are simple deeds. Mighty deeds are deeds that care about the individual and the possibilities that an individual can have in a fruitful life going forward. Mighty deeds are God-inspired and have no selfish containment whatsoever. Shelby was just one. There are many out there who do rescue today of all animals and people, and they do it so well. They are doing mighty deeds every day, and so can we. We can do more. A smile is a mighty deed if it keeps on going and spreads out and ripples out into a person who then goes out and does so much positive in their life. A kind word, a forgiving word, and the list goes on, doesn't it? Do we have now a handle on what mighty deeds are? And do we realize what they can do to those who are doubting, those who are not seeing them, especially in the world today? I think we can really search our minds, our hearts, our memories, and come up with many of them. And then come up with more. And then come up with more. And what a beautiful world of compassion and love and peace this will be. Well, my friends, that's my message for you on this Tuesday morning. As always, I hope it was helpful and you could take it into your day and into your week. I always welcome your comments and your thoughts, and share with me a mighty deed that you feel is appropriate and feel can be rippled out. I would appreciate it very much. Mostly, as I always say, I appreciate you being here with me, and I say thank you. I wish you all a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll see you back one day near the end of the week. Take care, everyone.